we will now create our articles section. We can see that we need to create a heading which will be centered, and then we need to create this responsive grid that consists of a card component with a figure, it's an image, and then we have a heading functioning as a link and some text as a paragraph. We can see that initially it needs to stack, and then for tablet size it will need to take up half of the available width, and for desktop size it needs to span a quarter of the available width. So let's see how we do this. Right after our form tag, still inside of our container div, we'll create our h2 heading element. We'll give it the class title, so it will be large and have the proper styling, and the modifier class has text centered, so it will align into the center. We'll add the text most read articles and close our heading again. Then we can start creating the wrapping element for our responsive grid, which will be a div tag with the class columns, and because this will be multi-line on tablet, we need to add the modifier class is multi-line. On tablet we'll be using 2 columns per row, and we're creating a total of 4 columns, so we need to add this modifier class is multi-line, so it will wrap on several rows. Now we'll create our first column, a div tag with the class column. This will by default be stacked on mobile, and then for tablet we want to make it span half of the available width, so we add the modifier class is half tablet, and for desktop we want to make it span a quarter of the available width, so we add the modifier class is 1/4 desktop. Now we can create our actual content, so inside we add a div tag with the class card. Inside this we'll first create our image, so we add another div tag with the class card image, and then inside this we can create our figure element with the class image, and to create the right sizing we add the modifier class is square. This will now reserve the space for our image even before it's loaded. Inside of our figure we will add the image tag img with the source being img/720 times 720.png. We find this image out here, and we'll give it the alt text or the alt attribute with the value article image. We'll close our img tag here. After our card image, we'll create our card content, a div tag with the class card content, and the modifier class has text centered, so our content inside will be centered. We'll now create an h3 heading element with the class title, and we want to make this smaller than our other title, so we add the modifier class is 4, and then we can add an anchor tag, which will lead us to the article.html page. We'll give it the text article heading, and then we'll close our anchor tag and close our heading tag. Now we can create a paragraph, and I'll just paste in this random text here. Now we only need to duplicate our column 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Let's save this, go back into our browser, select the right tab and refresh. Now we see that we have our articles section. If we resize the browser window, we'll see that the responsive behavior is just as expected. Initially they stack on top of each other, then for tablet size they turn into a 2-column grid, and for desktop size they turn into a 4-column grid.